So I started YouTube, like really started making videos on Raja from January 2021 and it's been fun. It has its ups and downs. Um there have been times where I have really really thought of quitting not just Dragon Raja but quitting YouTube as a whole because um imagine this, the first few videos I made, they were all right in my opinion. I do know that there were some issues with quality and stuff, but um after I made it, I released the videos online, and after a while the first comment I got was trash. Yeah, it was something else. So there were times where I felt like quitting. There were times where I felt like stopping, and honestly, I would have quit all this a long time ago. But you guys kept me going. You all, the subscribers, your comments, your likes, they brought joy to my face. Every time you guys commented, every time you guys told me thanks for a video, for a guide, or one thing or the other, it kept me going. Now I'm really sorry for the long intro, but I just thought I should keep that, like, put that out there. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I'm really grateful, and I won't be here without you guys. Even though I'm not up to 1,000 yet, but still, I appreciate all 800 of you. So I just wanted to say that. All right, now back to the video. Hi guys, and if you're new to the channel, then welcome to the channel, I guess. Today's video is how to increase your strength as a free-to-play mainly. Now know that all these are methods that have been tested by me. These are my own personal experiences. They might not be like put in stone, but for sure they will work for you if you try them out. So I hope this helps you guys, and enjoy the video. So I'm going to start with the most obvious method, which is to always complete your dungeons, all your dungeons, and perform your daily events. Now, you might think that this isn't really important, so you might get bored of the dailies and skip it, but if I'm to advise you, based on my experiment, I skipped. When I perform dailies, when I do my dailies, I get about 6,000 rating weekly as a free to play right now. So when I do skip these dailies and dungeons, I notice that I lose as much as 2,000 ratings per week. Might not seem like much at first, but if you calculate it, that's about 8,000 rating in a month that you've lost just from not doing your dailies. Now, how do you lose this rating, or how do you gain this rating? You get them from stats distribution, from the equipment you get in dailies, from the rewards you get in dailies, and so many other things. Basically, the rewards you get from your dailies and dungeons gives you a big boost. Now, for the activities, I think you should not really stress yourself about getting 150 activity points every single time. 120 is enough. You can just try moving up to 120 activity points. Now, if you are bored of doing dailies, there's a method you can use to go around this. When you join a daily team and they've started the daily run, all you have to do is just make sure you are on AFK and minimize your game. You can go offline, you can cancel the game. Your character will still be following the team leader as long as they complete the dungeon. You'll still be following the team leader, and you will be able to receive rewards when you come back online. Your rewards will be stored for you in your mail. Now, this is one of the best characteristics of Raja that I have experienced so far. You are not forced to stay online 24/7. Your character will still be online even when you go offline for 20 minutes. So use this to the best of your advantage. Allies are a very important part of Dragon Raja. They can influence your deals in so many ways and can be the difference between you losing or winning a deal. There are two options when choosing allies. The first is to base it on bonds. When I say bonds, I mean the other support allies will be allies that help increase your center ally strength. And the second option is to choose allies based on the usefulness to you, on their usefulness to you overall. Personally, I favor the second option the more. Most people choose allies based on bonds in order to increase their rating, but rating isn't everything, and the effects of allies should be chosen based on their skills, ultimate, EX, and passive. Especially the center allies. Center allies should only be chosen based on their passives. This is because support allies will not assist you with their passives. Only the passive of the center ally will proc when you are in battle. Meanwhile, the support allies will only be able to assist you with their EX, ultimate, or special skills. Now, don't get me wrong, ally bonds can be useful and this is quite helpful sometimes. An example is my buddy Kirito, who uses Guardian set, and all this is focused on increasing his attack power. Thanks to these bond allies, his attack power can be increased to an insane level, and within those few seconds where they activate, his damage can be like quite monstrous. But the problem with this is, for free to play, it's going to be quite difficult for you to obtain all the needed allies for a bond to proc, and this is going to be proven especially when those needed allies are 6 stars. I think we all know how difficult 6 stars are to get. Now try getting sets of them. Exactly. Now this brings us to the second section, which is ally recruitment. This is very important in every aspect of the game, from the early game to the end game. And I won't advise you spend your diamonds on ally recruitment, because you're still going to be recruiting allies way into the later stages of the game. This is a rabbit hole that you won't see the end of. So just go gently through it. Do not rush it all out, and try and use the allies you have, because your diamonds, trust me, you're gonna need them for a whole lot of other stuffs. And finally, the deployment tab. At the deployment tab, you send allies on missions. They get rewards for you, including experience and other items that can be used to increase the ally strength, which in exchange increases your strength. Now, many people will tell you to go for the orange, or is it yellow? I'm not really good with colors. Many will tell you to go for the high level or high quality quest. This is a very good advice, but you do not always obtain this, and you only have 3 refreshes in a day. After that, you have to spend diamonds. Spending your diamonds here is not really a wise idea, so I only suggest you spend a maximum of 50 diamonds daily in this place. In other words, 10 refreshes. So after your 10 refreshes, whatever you get, please use it. Alright, the pet section. Pets are one of the best ways to increase your strength in Raja. Honestly, you can get serious boosts from pets. Now, the first advice I will give you is, if you're below level 100, or if you're below level 80 rather, do not rush to give all your pets orange skills. I think blue or purple will be okay for a while, especially the purple skills. You will need your diamonds for orange skills later, trust me. Now, there are certain skills that are perfect for certain pets. I won't say these are the best skills, but these are the skills, after a lot of thinking, that I found out works best. Now, in my opinion, one of the best pet skill in the game would be Laser Guardians. This is for the light pet, and it increases your hit percentage. Now, you will notice that every class in Raja has the ability to dodge, but this ability is prominent in the Blade Masters than many other classes. So Laser Guardians is the perfect counter to such an ability. The second light pet skill will be Water Power for the physical attack classes, or Water Magic for the magic attack classes. Now, these I found are the 2 best pet skills for the light pet. An optional one will be Water Shield, but I found that it has its pros and cons. One of the cons being, if you are a magic class like the Reaper, this particular pet skill has the ability to review your position if you go invisible, so it's a no-go for me. But hey, it might be quite valuable to you, because in the few instances I used this pet skill, it was amazing. Especially for a class like a Soul Dancer. Now, for the dark pets, there are Darkness Mastery, Shadow Killer, and Heart-Shaped Bomb. These 3 skills are insanely good for the dark pet. Now, you can use a skill like the Electromagnetic Interference, because this is insanely good. And if you are in physical class, there's the opposite of it right there for you to pick as well. But yeah, these are the choices for the dark pet. Now, having the right dark pet skill can be insanely good and can make a difference in duels. So by all means, choose the right ones that suits you. Be it mounts, motors, whatever you want to call it. It has been one important part in various MMORPGs for years now. Now, it's the same in Raja. Be it crafting motors or upgrading them. This is one very important way and effective way to increase your strength. Now, as a free-to-play, you cannot buy motors like with coupons and stuff, but you can craft them with your diamonds. Now, crafting motors is quite easy. You just need some items and you'll be able to do that. If you do not have items, you can replace them with diamonds. So yeah, by all means, go ahead for it. Now, upgrading motors is where the technicality comes into being. Most people upgrade a single car or a single motor to as high as they can get it, to SS or SSS, which personally I think is the wrong way to go about it. I believe you should even things out, make things as equal as you can. First get all your cars to A, then get all your cars to S, then get them all to SS. I found this to be the best way to increase your strength as a free to play, and now you're definitely going to be missing a lot of other buffs from the drags that models can give and other kind of stuff. But hey, we have to make do with what we have as free to play. So please do not try to increase one car alone or one motor alone. It's a very bad idea and a waste of resources. So take it step by step. So I have already made a video talking about the heirs, their skills and passives. I'll drop a link in the description and in the comment section to that particular video, so yeah, you can just go check that out and understand this properly. So in this particular one, I will talk about stats, specifically equipment stats. Now stats do matter, and below the level 80s, stats like the constitution, insight and dexterity are very useful and helpful for you. But as you go higher in levels and you unlock better equipment, you start to see that those stats might give you ratings, but they are not as useful as some other stats. Example of this would be, instead of using stats like the constitution, you use physical defense or magic defense, or slotting both. Instead of using other stats like the elemental defenses, put in your elemental attack. Elemental defenses are not really useful in Raja. They are quite helpful for defensive classes such as the Blade Masters and stuff, or if you have a particular class that you're weak against, then you can use the elemental defense against that class, but I won't really suggest you focus or waste your stats on elemental defenses. Now you can use the constitution still if you are focusing on a defensive build, you can use that, but I won't really suggest you go fully into it. You can focus on things like the multi-strike, armor penetration, critical level or CDR. These stats will give you a lot more than their other counterparts. Buffs can make a lot of difference between you losing or winning a duel. As a free to play, the best buff you can actually have is the reduced damage taken buff. Now this buff makes a huge difference in PvP, and the best part about it is it can be bought from the store at any time at very cheap prices. There's another variation of a buff which is the increased damage dealt buff. But honestly, I personally find it hard to imagine a free-to-play doing more damage than a pay-to-win player, especially in PvP. Also, most pay-to-win players use this particular buff, so instead of competing with them, I think it's easier to just counter their buff with one of mine. In the end, it's your choice. You get quite a lot of rewards from playing Dragon Raja. Some can be traded to boost your rating, such as the ID cards from Career, sign-up card from logging in, carnival tickets from weekends, just staying online for 30 minutes, you get this carnival ticket, PvP points, and ladder of honor points. There are a couple other points. All these can be exchanged for very useful items like cosmetics, runes, even draconics can be gotten through this method. So yeah, try not to miss out on this. Now most free-to-play players try to skip the PvP feature and focus only on the lifestyle feature of Raja, which is the cooking and the housing. This is not really that bad, but the problem is the PvP feature is valuable to your gameplay as well. And when these players realize this, it's actually usually too late, and probably by the time they focus on it, everybody around them is already way stronger than they are, and everybody feels like a whale to them. Now there's something most people don't know about Raja, which is it isn't like most MMOs. Now, be they turn-based or tap-target MMOs, some things they have in common is they are rating-based or first-hit-based. What I mean by this is it is next to impossible to defeat someone who is just even a couple thousand rating above you, even if that person is AFK. But in Raja, skills matter. Now, I'm not saying there is no limit to this, but how many MMOs can you defeat someone who is more than 200,000 ratings stronger than you? Yeah, so think about that next time you hear someone say Raja is heavily paid to win. I mean, every free-to-play MMO is nowadays. Now this brings us to dueling. As a free-to-play, what you have are your skills, luck, and time. Most whales or pay-to-win players have at most 2 of these, but there are some out there with 3 too. Anyway, duel as much as you can. This is the best way to understand both the game and the class's mechanics. Here's a tip. In Raja, you can use the environment to your advantage. So go wild with your creative thinking. Try to unlock and use all classes at least once in your playtime, like Sun Tzu's Art of War, and I quote, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will suffer a defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle." End quote. Now I think that explains itself. This is why you see I make a plan against every class. The way I fight a puppeteer using the Reaper is vastly different from how I fight a Soul Dancer, even though they are both magic classes. Also, this helps with obtaining better gears. An example is when you obtain a good equipment but it has physical attack and you're using a magic class. Just switch to any of the physical classes and transfer that stats from the gear. Then switch back to any of the magic classes and voila, the stat switches to magic attack too. Now as I play and level in Raja, I get the feeling that the game is driving me to be an expert in one or two classes rather than being a jack of all. An example is in Draconic Gears. Certain Dracs have wondrous effect on select classes. Take the Boots Draconic Shadow Travel for instance. This Drac is a godsend for classes like Soul Dancers, Gunslingers, and Phantom Sounds, but its effects are lackluster for classes like the Reapers who have teleportation, or the Blade Masters who have the Void to boost their movement speed and chasing skills. Meanwhile, there are universal Dracs like the Ring Draconic Whispers of the Ancient God. This is beneficial to all classes at every level. So try and know what suits your class best. Now there are two ways to go around picking your two main classes. The first option is you can choose two classes that compensate for their weak points. Example of this would be the Reaper and Assassin. The Reaper is strong against almost every other class except the Assassin. And the Assassin is strong against a lot of other classes but weak against the Blade Master. You see how they compensate themselves. Other examples include being good at Blade Master and Soul Dancer, Phantom Sound and Soul Dancer, and so on. Now another way to go around this would be to strengthen your favorite or best classes, and I think this is my personal favorite option. Now everyone has that one class that they excel in no matter what, even if they've not really used it before. Once you just hold that class, you get the feeling like you're home, like it's just meant to be. For me, that was the Reaper. So I advise that you actually focus on that class that you get this feeling from, because I don't think you'll be as good at any other class as you will be with that class. Now to bring an end to this very long video, whales are as important to games as air is to us in real life. I won't go into the specifics, but just know that without the whales, we won't be able to play most games. So when next you fight a whale, don't nag or insult them. Just kick their ass and show them skills still matter. Now there will be situations as a free-to-play where you will get killed so many times you will get tired of it all. Yes, but just know you're not alone and it's just a phase in the game. Now I hope this video has helped you guys through understanding how to be strong as a free-to-play. I know some tips here are already known, but I just thought I should get in depth into them because there'll definitely be some people out there who do not know about this or do not understand it properly. So if you found this video to be useful to you in any way, please drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. It's very helpful to me. And as always guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.